Okay, everyone. Hello, this is Christy Talley-Smith. Thank you for coming to our first 7-minute sizzle of the fall semester. We are excited that we're going to hear from you all this term. Throughout the term, we'll have a few sessions. We've already got 3 faculty scheduled. Today from mathematics, we have Robert Staples, and also in October, Dr. Christine James will present. She teaches E-Core Introduction to Philosophy. And from chemistry, in November, we have Dr. Anga Parker scheduled. So we'll have a few more to be announced in the near future. So be on the lookout. We're excited about providing these sessions for you all. And if you are interested in presenting on a topic, and if you have had some exemplary success with strategies, techniques, or specific uses in the GoView tools, let us know, and perhaps we'll line you up to go ahead and do a 7-minute sizzle as well. Now, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Robert Staples. He's already been extremely successful. This is his 2nd semester with E-Core. He began teaching in summer 2014, and he teaches Math 1111, and that is college algebra for E-Core. Okay, you're on.
All right, thank you. I want to say I appreciate the opportunity to be able to speak about things that I feel are helpful, and I don't pretend to have all the final answers, but I do know that a successful experience that was very rewarding to me and my students is something that I am extremely happy to share. I have a short video, and then I have a couple brief comments, and then we could do a question and answer session. So without any further ado, I appreciate Karen joining us here, and appreciate each and every one joining us as we go through this. So let's get started, and let's run that video, and then I'll leave just a brief time, and I'll come back and I'll talk about some comments, and then take questions and answers. So I believe we're ready to go.
Okay, everyone. I have pushed through his YouTube 7-minute sizzle video, so go ahead and get that video started by clicking on the YouTube link in the chat box. We'll come back all together shortly. So again, click on your youtube.com link and you can review the video from Professor Staples.
And I have the opportunity to teach E-Core this summer. Having taught for over 20 years these ideas, I've come to try to work on what's successful.
All right, folks, you should be close to wrapping up those the YouTube video that we sent out. So if you will, just go ahead and wrap up or push pause if you're late coming in, and we are going to hand it back over to Professor Staples and let him give you a quick summary of some of the points he covered. Professor Staples, I'm able to see you, but I can't hear your audio.
Can you hear me now?
I sure can.
Okay. I work for Verizon, but you can hear me now. That's a good thing. Humor actually is an important part in this effort. So learn the platform. If you're not familiar with it, then it's hard to communicate to the students to be familiar. I won't go through all of these, but I'll just hit on them, okay? So now I knew my content by going through actually each of the lesson tasks by myself. And I will say, after I did that, my confidence was through the roof, and I felt like I could explain basically anything to my students. Now, I'm assuming that you know your area very well, and that's really not that hard to do once you know your content. And the introduction video, I learned the hard way not to talk a whole lot, and that's hard for me not to do, but to narrow it down. And I did those videos a couple times, and that was, with some talking points in front of me. And so it was a learning experience for me. But also in the discussion post, I took the basic framework, and then I wrote my own suggestions to the students on what to do, what to say in their post, and that made it custom made. It kind of made a relationship part of the instructor with the student very, very powerful. And so those two things, number one, knowing your content, number two, communicating to your students, are extremely powerful things. I would say the question and answer session was something that helped during my office hours. And I'll be honest, it was a little squirrely when I first started it, but after a while it got better and better. And it's kind of like going on a date. I mean, I am a simple man, so I'll just explain things in a very simple way. Once I had a student come to my office hours and they saw that I helped them, it was a no-brainer, and that person knowing where to go to for help, and it was very, very valuable. Of course, I mentioned being positive, and that is extremely important. And you may not believe this, but students like it when you commend them for something that they do, and they'll keep doing it. And it's more of a positive environment that is placed before the student. And if you ever try to teach math, you understand how important that is. Of course, keep your course moving forward all of the time. And I'll commend the eCore staff again. All of the people that work in eCore are, in my mind, they're on the same page and trying to get out a quality educational experience. And then the last thing that I would say is experiment with the technology. I never made videos in college algebra before, but in my 8-week intense time, I had to, because that was the only way that I was going to get ahead of potential problems, and I just figured it out. So what's that saying? Necessity is the mother of invention, but you can do it. There's a lot of things that are out there, and I used a simple web camera and little whiteboards like this, and a tablet that the eCore people helped me with. So all of those things, it's not that hard. It's just making it happen. And you may be wondering, is it really worth the effort? When you hear back from students that they are learning something that they never really learned well before, really that's all you need. And I hope that wrapping this up, I hope that these things that I presented in the video and here are helpful. And of course, you have my email address there to the left. And what I want to do now for the last part of this, just open it up to questions that you may have that I may be able to answer.
Great job, Professor Staples. For anyone that has any questions, feel free to type them into the chat box down there at the bottom of the screen. Or also feel free to click that talk button and let us know if you've got any questions.
Let's see. Did my videos have captions or transcript? No. It was just plain information. However, if you'll go to the PowerPoint presentation later on in the eCore, there you go, right there. Okay, I have my video library that you could see how I did my videos, and you could learn you know, from all my mistakes, but you could see it is very, very powerful. And I put a couple comments on the YouTube where it talked about what the labels are and what it was about, but it worked out pretty good. All right, next question. What did you use to create the videos? That is a very good question. So, okay, I have a very simple Logitech webcam, and then I did a Google search for screenshot.com, and I was able to get a free version of screencast.com. And if you look on my videos, you'll see a little watermark for that. And all I did is I went to their site, I downloaded it, installed it on my computer, played around it with a little bit of time, and then before too long, I was able to make those videos and upload them to YouTube. And it really wasn't that hard. And if you're a little shy about that, just contact me, and I'll be happy to help you with that. Screencast.com. Okay. Any other questions?
All right, folks. Well, if there aren't any other questions, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap up this first 7-minute sizzle of the semester. As Professor Staples mentioned, if you have additional questions, he did provide his email address in the chat box. It is simply rstaples@westga.edu. I'm going to paste it in one more time for you. Also, on the screen, you'll see links to the video that you watched in addition to his video library. We can also send those out later in the archive email if you'd like. And if any of you are interested in accessing the PowerPoint, we can send that out as well. It has all of those great tips that Professor Staples covered in his video and then again on the PowerPoint. So any final questions or comments? All right. Well, yes, you did a great job.
No, thank you.
Oops, I'm sorry.
I think that was me, Stephanie Alexander.
Hi, Stephanie.
And I was just responding, no, thanks. Hi. I think I'm going to have to watch the recast. I'll watch the recast.
Sounds good. We'll send it out, and you can watch his video as well. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, everyone. Well, if you're available at 4 o'clock today, we also have a communications tool webinar. So feel free to join us again in the seminar yard via the Garden of eCore for that webinar at 4 o'clock. And that access information was also shared in Christy's reminder email. So we might see some of you again at 4 o'clock, but for the rest of you, I hope you have a great afternoon. Thank you for joining us. And thank you, Professor Staples, for the great job that you've done.
You're welcome.
All right, everyone have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.